face of real estate is changing now that more and more millennials are buying homes.
So how are real estate experts adjusting to the housing needs of the millennial generation? Well, here to fill us in is Chris Thompson. He's vice president of Rick Thompson Team. Chris, good morning.
Hi, Chris.
How are you
Thanks
guys?
for being with us. Are you, first of all, are you a millennial? You
Yes,
are
I
a
am.
millennial. I mean, you look it, but I just felt like we should make sure we document it.
I appreciate that.
So it seems clear that millennials are gravitating towards renting rather than buying. So what advice would you have for those who think that home ownership is just impossible these days, or so far out of the realm of possibility?
A lot of millennials are certainly comparing the rent versus buy. A lot more of them want to live closer to the city, more of a lifestyle than living in the suburbs or living out in the country, where a lot of us kind of grew up in the the American dream, so to speak. A lot more people are looking in the city. Well, prices are certainly higher in the city versus the further away from you get from the city. Their prices are more reasonable, more obtainable.
Right.
So many people think that you still need 20% down to buy your first home or buy any home. There's a ton of lenders out there, some that I work with in different loan programs, that you could still buy a home with 0% down, so no money out of pocket.
But do you agree with me? Don't you think some millennials feel like, well, if I rent, then I'm not really
Not tied down to
I'm
something.
not tied down to anyone.
If I sign a lease, I'm only
it's like
stuck
dating
for,
versus marriage, right? Let's just
Exactly.
date the rest of our lives because we can't
Exactly.
be held accountable for
That-
anything.
No,
I say rent
totally agree.
everywhere,
Rent everywhere.
right? You don't have to
Absolutely,
Is there a
absolutely.
sense of that from the millennials?
Yes, they want to travel more and more, not necessarily be tied down. If I have a mortgage, well, I have to pay that mortgage versus rent. Well, okay, I might be a couple days late,
Right.
not as bad. Won't affect my credit as much, and I could take that trip to the beach,
Right. Sure.
especially now that it's summer.
So how do you make a healthy living a priority then, with all with school and everything else going on?
Well, for me, being an athlete my entire youth, I played lacrosse through high school and college.
Oh, cool.
I currently coach right now. I've been coaching for the last 8 years, so trying to balance that. And now I'm newly married, have a wife and kids.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And tomorrow will be 2 months.
2
Very
months?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Pause,
it's
I'll
awesome.
take it in.
Right.
No one's ever gotten that far before.
Well,
That's
talk to me
amazing.
when I'm 27 years, okay?
Right.
So talk
Fair
to
enough,
me.
fair enough. Deal.
Still going strong.
Very good. Just trying to balance it. Trying to coach and work just in general, eat up about 80 some hours a week.
Right.
And obviously being an athlete, working out all the time, now that I'm not playing anymore and working all the time, trying to find the time, or more so just make the time to get exercise in, get something in. I do a lot of work outside. I am kind of opposite of most millennials. I live out in the country, so I'll cut down trees, chop them up for firewood.
Well, excuse me, Chris, I did that this morning, so.
My mistake.
I used it to make my bowl that I had cereal with.
Right, of course,
So I'm not sure why you think that's such a foreign concept.
Certainly, hiking, walking through the woods, playing, especially now, playing outside with the kids, home
Yeah.
run derbies, playing catch.
It's a lot.
It is, but the balance it's been great.
So let's get back to real estate for just a second. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the fact that I live in New York City, and it seems like it's separated from everything else in the rest of the country.
It is.
Where is the real estate market now, and where are we going the rest of the year?
Comparing to last year versus so far this year, last year we had a huge flux. I live in Maryland, so we call it the DMV, certainly a millennial term, DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Okay.
It's certainly always a booming area because the federal government's there. So there's always jobs.
Right.
And that market hit a flux from about 3 or 4 months last year, which ended mid-June. This year, our area had real bad weather with cold rain. Nobody wanted to go outside. So that cycle ended kind of mid-May this year. Throughout the rest of the year, probably looking more of just a steady stream. So in the last couple of weeks, we've seen inventory kind of stable off a little bit. So areas that are more saturated with inventory are going to move slower versus areas that don't have as much inventory are certainly going to move a lot faster.
So what your forecast, if you had to give a forecast, millennials, what?
Forecast, I would say slow and steady. It's probably going to win.
and steady.
Slow and steady is going to win the race for the rest of the year.
And are millennials going to buy into that? It doesn't seem like the millennial mantra.
Right.
They are. There's plenty of them. Certainly, younger generation of millennials will probably still look to rent, or a lot of people still live at home when they move out of college or get home from college. But a lot of people that are starting to look at family life are starting to look for that single family home versus the townhome or the condo that are a lot lower maintenance. Single family obviously has a lot more maintenance with it.
All right. Well, Chris, listen, we're out of time, unfortunately, but thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Great,
Good
thank
luck
you
with
guys.
everything.
All right.
All that
Appreciate it.
outdoor stuff with the shopping and the hiking and all that
All right.
craziness.
Thanks, Ed. All right. Don't go anywhere. Still ahead.
So much more to come. There are some must-have items you do not want to be without this summer. Find out what they are when Healthy Lifestyle returns after the break.